Hi guys, it's Lami of LabelledbyLami. You're welcome to the channel. In this video, I will be sharing with you how to create this nice and stylish monostrap top. I like to call this video the part one of two videos because I'm also going to be sharing with you how to cut the pattern on fabric and also how to assemble it in a later video. Let me add at this point that I had so much fun creating this pattern because it was easy and straightforward to create, and I believe that a beginner or an intermediate sewist will find it really easy, fun and straightforward to recreate as well. So please go ahead and watch the video and drop your questions for me, your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions in the comment section, and I will respond to them as soon as I can. Please, while at that, give the video a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Then turn on your bell notification so that you get notified as soon as new videos drop. Thank you. Alright, let us not waste more time. Let's get straight into the video.
Firstly, this is my already drafted basic bodice from the simplified basic bodice pattern drafting. If you want to see or learn how to draft the simplified basic bodice, please check out the description box below for the video tutorial. So, I will start by laying this pattern on a fresh folded pattern paper. I will be replicating this pattern on a folded paper because the style I'm making has an asymmetric neckline. So, I have laid the center front to the middle of the paper so that when I am done, the bodice is mirrored to have a full front bodice. Next, I am using my tracing wheel to trace out the pattern onto the fresh paper, and now I am using the howl to mark the important points like the dot and other vital points too. Next, I am using the marker to draw out the front waist dart, front shoulder dart, front waistline, bust line, true bust line, armhole, front shoulder slant, neckline, under bust line, and chest line. For this particular style, it is important to establish the chest line, bust line, true bust line, under bust line, and waistline, as you can see on the pattern paper. Next, I will go ahead and rule the side seam, and the front half bodice pattern is ready to be worked upon. I have gone ahead to trace out the back pattern off the camera, and this is what it looks like. Now I am trying to establish my underbust measurement by simply measuring on the underbust line my underbust measurement divided by 2, and the excess left after my division is 2 inches, and I will be measuring 1.5 inches from the dart on the side bust and a 0.5 inch from the dart on the center front. I will go ahead and use the exact method to calculate my waist and then mark the excess as well. This method is necessary because the style I'm making is a tight fitting bustier, which means that every excess has to be dealt with accordingly. Next I am doing is adding about 10 inches to the current length that I have here so that I have a longer length. I really didn't realize that the whole frame is not captured to show what I am doing. I apologize for that. You will get to see what it looks like soon. Anyway, I am just smoothing the sharp angle on the waistline like so, and I will now go ahead to trace out the newly added lines using the tracing wheel so that all the lines will be replicated on the other side of the paper as well. Now, I already extended the length of the garment. I also have to extend darts, and I am doing so by extending it to about 5.5 inches below the waistline, and I will go ahead and mark it out using my tracing wheel. I really apologize that my frame didn't catch all the action, but here is what it looks like after lengthening the pattern and darts. You can watch the simplified basic bodice video linked in the description box to understand all the process involved up to this level. Anyway, now I am really just pinning the paper so that it stays in place while I start manipulating it and interpreting the style. Ideally, the dart apex is and should be about 3/4 of an inch below the true bust point, but for the sake of the style interpretation, I will extend the dart so that the apex is right on the bust point, like so. Next, I will tighten the chest line by measuring my chest measurement divided by 2 and omitting the dart. Once that's done, I will be able to see all the excess left, and I will just go ahead and mark the point, and from that point I will rule a slant line to the dart apex on the true bust line. Now it is time to shape the bustier, and I am starting with the center part of the bustier. I will be using my pencil first, then I will use my marker to further make it clearer. Now, using my pattern master, I am joining the bust point to the already established underbust point while ensuring that I achieve a very nice curve. Then I will extend the line to the dart leg on the waistline. For the side part of the bustier, I will also join from the bust point to the already established underbust point, and I will also extend the line to the dart leg on the waistline. Now it's time to shape the bust so I can get the perfect rounded bust. You can see that right now it just has this really funny shape, but all I need to do is use my French curve to reshape it to give me what I want. As you can see, it is now looking more rounded as it should be. So I will also check all the angled points and then blend them out as well. So I am erasing the unwanted lines now so that you can see clearly what the shape looks like after shaping it. At this point, I am measuring the true bust line to ensure that there is no shortage to my bust measurement after shaping. I will measure both the back and front true bust lines. And as you can see, my bust is 33 inches, which means my half bust is 16.5 inches. And after measuring, I still have about 1.25 inches left, and this means I'm very good to go. This is a vital step that should not be discarded. So now that I am done shaping, it's time for me to establish the style lines, but for that to happen, I have to use the process of dart manipulation. I will cut along the fold line of the waist dart from the base of the dart to the apex being the bust point, and that will enable me close my shoulder dart, thereby transferring the shoulder dart to the waist dart, as you can see. Next is to determine the neck depth for the style, and I am measuring 5.5 inches from the base of the neck. I will mark that, and that will be the neck depth for this design. Now from this point, I am drawing the sweetheart neckline style line by using my French curve from center front to underarm point, like so. For better understanding, I slashed the fold line of my waist dart up to the apex of the bust on the true bust line. Then I measured the chest line measurement along the chest line, and with the way the bodice is drafted, there is about 4 inches excess on the chest line. This excess has to be taken out so that the chest line will be firm. After that, I shaped the bustier, and I am just using my marker to make the lines more pronounced now. Then I go ahead to mark my balance marks on the vital part, and blend the necessary parts too. Now that this is sorted, I will go ahead to tighten the chest by folding the shoulder darts, making sure that I take out every unwanted excess. After doing so, I will proceed to draw out the style lines like so. Next, I will use the tracing wheel to walk through all the necessary lines. This is so that by the time I open up the pattern, I have all the lines showing on the other side of the paper. Now that I am done with this, I will go ahead to open up the pattern and then proceed to marking the style lines. Here, I have opened up my pattern and I will just go ahead to trace out the mirrored lines that I initially did with the tracing wheel. So I am done mirroring the lines, as you can see, and now it is time to draw my monostrap style line. And honestly, this depends on personal preference, but for me, I measured about 1.5 inches from the shoulder point and marked the point. To draw the monostrap lines, I will close my shoulder dart like so. This is to avoid any form of gaping along that line. And using the pattern master, I rule a line from the point to the center of the neckline like so. When I am done, this is what I have. So, since I am done with the front pattern, it is time for the back pattern, which is a lot simpler, by the way. And the first thing I am doing is putting the front and back patterns together at neck points like so, just to be sure that they are equal. Now looking at it, it looks like it's not equal, but it actually is, because the extra left is for the back shoulder darts that would be taken out anyway, by either folding the dart like so or basically easing it off at the shoulder point. Here is how to do that. Measure the value of the dart from shoulder point inwards and then cut it off, or by folding it off like I did, and that automatically makes the dart cancelled. If you want to further understand how to deal with back shoulder darts in a Natalie Brace pattern, please watch the simplified method of Natalie Brace basic bodice pattern video. The video is on my channel, but I will also link it in the description box for easy find. Okay, moving on. Once I have dealt with the back shoulder dart, it is time to extend the style line to the back pattern as well. And that's it. The back pattern is ready. Once I am done with that, I will do a bit of adjustment to this pattern for better fitting. So because this top is basically a tube top with a strap, I went in by 0.75 inches on the underarm point of the front and back bodice. This is optional though, but I want a very snug fit, so it is necessary for me. And yay, we are done now. In the next video, I will share the process of cutting this pattern on the fabric and also how to stitch and assemble it. And until then, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and have yourself some fabulous time.